Hello and welcome back to World of Warships. I'm your host Forgotten Void, and this week we will be going over the very new super cruiser, the Jacksonville. The Jacksonville is just an upgraded Worcester with a little bit of details. So being a light cruiser, you have 25mm plates all over, but your deck is 30mm, which it doesn't really matter much, and your armor belt is really low. That is also the belt for the Citadel. So it's a really low to water Citadel, but it's still slightly above water, meaning you can eat Citadels pretty easily. It's just going to be more difficult because of how close to the water line your Citadel is. It still has your 152mm with 30mm of penetration, a 1/5 that most light cruisers get. Let's see. Go back to the go to the equipment of Jacksonville. So for Jacksonville, you have I would normally put main battery. The reason why I'm going over this, even though I don't have it in port, is because there was a game. Specifically, it was an all Supership game, and I was in the game in Satsuma, but I'm going to show off Jacksonville because one, it's a newer ship, and two, it's really good. So we'd probably do engine room protection since it's a light cruiser to get the repair time down. Aiming mods. Prop mods, concealment, maybe. So pretty much as is recommended. So when they say just has a button that says equip recommended mods, you can just equip that, and then you get everything you need for Jacksonville, because literally the recommended mods are the best mods for this ship. Now its funny button is the HE shell penetration plus 40% and for 40 seconds. So by using the F key, you can penetrate ships with HE that you normally would not be able to penetrate. So a 30 millimeters of penetration, that would get you up, let's see, 40. I'm thinking 42 millimeters. With just 30 millimeters, I would get you up to 42 millimeters of penetration. If you get IFHE, that's a little bit more. That should get you over 50. So we're going to go with the Worcester. Do I have a captain for the Worcester? Okay. Yeah, this is actually a captain build I would use for the Worcester. I'm not sure if this is the one that Toxic is using, but this is what I would use, which is... Would I use consumable? So last stand, focus fire training for the AA, priority target, superintendent, concealment expert, inertial fuse for HE, that gets you up to 37 millimeters, and then plus 40% of that for the funny button. Yeah, it should get you over 50 millimeters of penetration, but it gets you over 32 for the base, because for most of the ships you need at least 32 millimeters of penetration to penetrate the exterior, and that's why you take IFHE. And then adrenaline rush for more reload. And since concealment is less than 10 kilometers, this is why I don't take top rate gunner, because you are further away. We'll see what if he takes anything different, but these are the base skills. Or I would not do consumable specialist, and I would do demolition expert. So either gun feeder and consumable specialist, or take those away and have demolition expert. Those are the options. I do focus fire training because of Hermes and getting more AA damage. This increases the number of explosions, and explosions are what you need for actually good AA damage against ships, because it's the flat clouds that actually do the damage. If I traded away focus fire training and these two skills, then the other skill I'd get would be radiolocation before any of the others. That said, that's the skills and the equipment. Let's go ahead and hop into battle with, well, not Worcester, but where is it? Yeah, you can go previous ship. Yes, we would be going in Jacksonville. So Jacksonville is basically Worcester, but with an extra gun on each of the turrets. So instead of 5 twin turrets, it's 5 triple turrets. All of them having a 5-second reload before your equipment is factored in. That's it. Let's go ahead and hop into battle. So here we are. I see it's me and the Satsuma, Stahl and a Satsuma, Vader in a main, Toxic and the Jacksonville that we're following, Brooklyn and Novorosk, Tony in an Edgar, and then we have another Jacksonville. So this is how Cherry Blossom looks with a full Supership division. And the only way it would have actually been a any higher HP on the enemy ships is if the Jacksonville was a battleship. So the enemy ships actually scale based on the not just the tier of ships you're in, but also what types of ships you're in. So Toxic went ahead and used his Hydro because the enemy ships have torpedo reload booster, and they will go ahead and use their torpedo reload booster to torpedo. And since the Novorosk radar went down because it's a short radar, because it's Russian rather than American, Toxic went ahead and popped his radar. But since his radar is 9-kilometer radar, it doesn't really show. So we'll go ahead and put the 9-kilometer radar there. And then we'll go ahead and put the hydroacoustic. So there you saw the Harugumas. That's a Haruguma set of torps to the left. Looks like another set of Haruguma torps. So they both use their torpedo reload booster and threw out some torps, although some of their torps hit the hit Rex. So let's see. So it's a 4-second reload, 4.4, and he is using top grade gunner. So he's using the main matter reload bod plus top grade gunner gets you to a 4-second reload, which is really, really, really nice. It's I mean, already having a 4.4-second reload on 152 is at tier 10. You have more DPM than Atlanta. And so he's using the F key for his shells because the Yoshino has more armor. So now he's making sure his shells pen. Because now he's... Okay, so he has 42 pen, which means he does not have inertial fuse HE. So he has full fire chance plus the extra pen. So that's the difference, whereas I would sacrifice fire chance for the additional penetration. He goes for more fire chance and less pen. Because, yes. So, which you don't actually need to have the extra penetration. Because you can aim for superstructure. Superstructure you will always pen the superstructure of any ship. And so if you are good at aiming, and Toxic is really good at aiming, and so Toxic can aim at the superstructure. He knows what he's doing. And I mean, when you saturate it, then you're not going to do much damage, but you're still going to do some damage. Plus, fire doesn't care about saturation. So I'm pretty sure that's why he does that. And then he has top grade gunner for the extra DPM, since he probably plays this mostly in ops. And when you're running ships in ops, you are often within your main battery your main detection range. So the top grade gunner is usually on. Cherry Blossom has the unique feature where it takes your starting concealment level. So during the night, because it starts at the night, and whatever your concealment at the beginning, that's the range you have to be in for top grade gunner. So with a 6 kilometer concealment base, Toxic needs to be within 6 kilometers of anything to have the top grade gunner. And so some people call that it really is a bug, because it's not your base as in what you see the base in port concealment, as it is affected by the nighttime. But because it's a map thing, it stays like that for the end throughout the match. And so we have, since 5 ships are killed, then you don't the enemy ship are retreating. So you only need to kill 5 ships. So if you kill 1 destroyer, then you can focus on all the cruisers, and this lets battleships be of good use, because if all the battleships take out the cruisers and only 1 destroyer is killed, then you have time to kill the other destroyers as you are going back up north. There are 4 destroyers and 4 cruisers, and you need to kill 5 ships in order to protect the regiments on the beach. Sometimes English escapes me. I have been speaking a lot of Japanese today, so English is escaping me. Light cruisers, especially Jacksonville, is actually really good in this map because of the combination of radar, hydro, AA, and in this case a heal. For tier 9 and above, light cruisers, US tier 9 and above light cruisers in Cherry Blossom are really good. Heavy cruisers are also decent, but light cruisers are really good. And there's a detonation, so that Harugumo is gone. Back when Cherry Blossom first appeared, the usual strategy was 3 Baltimores and 3 Clevelands with 1 ship of whatever type you want. Doesn't matter. But the 3 Clevelands provided the AA and the DPM, whereas the Baltimores provided the big guns to be able to delete enemy cruisers from far away. So you had the light cruisers for anti-destroyers and the heavy cruisers for anti-cruisers. Now you have battleships that can do that, but heavy cruisers actually are still really good in this op. In fact, cruisers are generally better than battleships. Generally. So now what we're doing is we're waiting for the enemy to be spotted to go up and kill. Too bad that other Jacksonville couldn't come up with us. Too bad he went and found a Harugumo Torp with his face. So here Toxic is figuring out the range, since he can have nearly 4 salvos in the air before the first one hits. Now, the thing is, the Clausewitz has a 50mm deck, so even with his F key, he would not be able to penetrate the deck of the Clausewitz. He'll be able to set fires, but not penetrate the deck. And so that is where having IFHE in addition to the F key would help, because then the Jacksonville could penetrate the deck of Clausewitz. But Yoshino, on the other hand, he can pen just fine. Especially with all the superstructure there. And so you see his Def AA is active, killing all the planes. And now he uses his F key on the Clausewitz, even though, as I said, it's not really going to help that much. You really need to hit the superstructure on that one. Which he is doing well in hitting the superstructure on, or hitting the spots that he can penetrate. And most of the enemy ships here have 12-kilometer torpedo range. Atago has 10. Harigu, Yugo, Kitakaze, they should all have 12 kilometers. Well, actually, Kitakaze might have 10. It's either 10 or 12. I can't remember for Kitakaze. But since they all have 10 or 12-kilometer range, Clausewitz being 6, and that only leaves one ship. Only one, the Yoshino, having 20 kilometers. So really, the only Yoshino's torps are the only ones that are really dangerous if you hang back. Yamagiri can have 20-kilometer torps, but they take so long to reload that usually you can kill a Yamagiri before the torpedoes reload. If you let a Yamagiri live for 2 minutes, then you might be doing something wrong. And there you see I take out the Clausewitz, Toxic able to take out the Yamagiri. And he has his defensive fire AA, or everyone calls it Def AA, on to take out all the planes. And he's just going on trying to get as many guns on as possible. Because once a target becomes low enough health, he's swapping to another target, expecting someone to just delete the rest. And this is something you do when your shells are so floaty that you have 2 salvos in the air. So he's swapping to a Harugumo Kibi. And there's Yamagiri Kiji. Activating his Hydro now that Edgar's is not active anymore. This is to protect from specifically Harugumo torps. While they take a long time to reload, the guns are mean, and 2, the torps, since it has torpedo reload booster, it can reload very quickly. And those looks like Harugumo torps. There's another Harugumo. Since his radar is active right now, the smoke doesn't matter. Another thing is the forts and such will detect ships. So if you are in gun smoke detection range or gun detection range of the AA guns or the airfields, then you will be detected. And such a bad time to use the F key, because now he has to dodge torps. He has to shoot at the Izuma. Now he's shooting at the Izuma right now because there's no other ships to shoot at. And in order to actually get damage and XP, you want to shoot the ships. The land bases, they only count for XP or rewards if you have the ribbon. The ribbon being destroying it. And so right now, Toxic is blind firing the Heart of Gumo based on where he thinks it is or where he sees the shell tracers. And if you have high DPM, you can just do that. You can easily do that. There are two... hit a wreck of a sinking ship. So, often called the Japanese radar is firing, because it's two things. One, if you're in a Japanese ship and you shoot, everybody wants to shoot at you because you have a squishy citadel. Or if you're in a Japanese destroyer, everyone wants to shoot at you because you're in a Japanese destroyer. Period. The Japanese gunboat lines are scary, and then the Japanese torpedo line has scary torpedoes and are very stealthy, so people want to shoot at you when they can. The other way of calling it a Japanese radar is like the gunboat destroyers can have a high rate of fire, so you can just shoot and shoot and shoot to see where you are hitting, even when it's not detected. And the Japanese gunboat lines were the first ones to have such a high rate of fire. 3 seconds base without any upgrades. Now you have other ships with a better rate of... better individual turret fire rate. And there we are. Victory. So you can see, it's once you start killing things, it's not that bad. And here, Toxic Symphony, he got a high major contribution. It's the op version of high caliber, where you deal at least 35% of the total damage dealt by your team, successfully complete the operation, and your damage must be more than 150,000 HP. There are very few operations where you can do 35% total and still be less than 150k. The Cherry Blossom at tier 6, if everyone's a tier 6, you could probably, this would be difficult to complete by being difficult to get 150k HP. The other one was Wolfpack. If you want to search the Wolfpack videos, I could throw up a Wolfpack video that I did, because that one's also hard to get major contribution because there's just not much damage. Sea Star, just deal damage equal to at least 100% of your ship's HP. This is, if you're doing a 5-star operation and you don't get a Sea Star, either you were doing something wrong or you just weren't in position to shoot at ships and everyone else did. Assistant is really easy because you just damage half the enemy ships and do at least 10% of their HP. So it's a lot of these. Well, Sea Star is the easiest to get. Assistant's also pretty easy to get. Major contribution means you're doing a lot of damage, which in Cherry Blossom, 767,000 damage is a lot of damage. As I mentioned, that Cherry Blossom at lower tiers, it's hard to get high damage. With the high damage in usually tier 8, if you're getting above 200k, you're doing really good. So team score, of course, Jacksonville's the top with 2.7 thousand base XP, really high. And then Novorodsk, Edgar, Maine, and then the Satsuma is down the bottom because Satsuma is actually not that good for it, even though everyone here cleared the 1000 BXP marker and everyone alive has the Sea Star. As you can see, the Satsumas didn't damage that many ships, and that's why we don't have Assistant, whereas everyone else with higher rate of fire gets Assistant. And detailed report, so Azuma's doing lots of damage. Lots of damage to everything. For 9 destroyed, 16 damaged, only 18 plane kills. That's pretty low. The main battery itself was 640k with 127 with fires. And so if you swapped it with IFHE, you might have more on the main battery, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would change that much. 678 potential from things shooting at him and him dodging. Probably I think mostly torpedoes there. And then finally, Supership economy, the thing that everybody wants to know. So Toxic here was using blue boosters. Blue boosters. So personal score, he got 1.3 million credits in a really good game. And the service supply still came up to minus 500,000 credits. And in fact, the credits spent and the base credits earned with premium brings him to about even. So the amount that he earned is actually all from the credit booster. So the credit booster determined how much credits he actually earned. If he was using without premium, he would have only earned 400,000 because the base was actually lower than the number spent. So you really need to run premium and modifiers. I think, yeah, so without any modifiers, yeah, he would have broken even. That's what he earned. And then because he's using a 21 pen captain, all of his commander XP became elite commander XP. So with that said, if you like this video or you want to see more ops videos, I will occasionally do a really good video. So if you think you have broken a record or anything and want me to go over that, then I could probably go over those videos. But for the most part, I usually do my own videos because I can tell you what I'm doing. But I played with Toxic so much. He teaches me how to play ships, and I teach him about the operations for a very nice symbiotic relationship. So if you want to see more ops videos, click that subscribe button so you don't miss out when I make a new video. Click that like button if you like this video and want to see more like this. Or don't, because I can't make you to do anything because I'm not your mother. That said, I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.